This is a video about deliveries, your deliveries. Well, more importantly, there's a problem with your deliveries. To understand what that is, we'll first need to journey back to the 1900s, where people dreamt of this magical place called the Everything Store, a one-stop shop for anything anyone could need. An idea that would eventually evolve into the departmental store, basically a large shopping space. And over time, these stores grew bigger and bigger, and some even spanned across acres of aisles and shop floor. But even with all that space, it wasn't the true everything store that we once imagined. During the dot-com era of the 1990s, dozens and dozens of online stores came onto the scene, offering buyers everything that they could dream of. And in the decades since, we've gotten a new version of the Everything Store. It's the Everything Everywhere Store. It's in your hands, at your desk, or on your smart fridge if you're that kind of person. From books to beds, breads and spreads, from a bag to a bee and salt from the sea, everything at your fingertips from A to Z. But there's a catch, because everything has a price. Even when delivery is free, there is a sacrifice. Millions of purchases mean millions of parcels, and that means millions of deliveries. Hundreds of thousands of 2- and 3-wheelers stressing public infrastructure and the city's lungs. The rise of the rapidly expanding e-commerce market has had a major impact on our cities in more ways than one. But the real cost of the Everything Everywhere store comes in the last mile of delivery. What is last mile delivery? Well, that phrase refers to the final step of the delivery process, when a parcel is moved from a transportation hub to the delivery location. Even though this is the shortest and quickest part of the delivery process, globally the last mile accounts for up to half of total carbon emissions from deliveries. That may seem counterintuitive until you realize that the entire delivery process from click to transportation hub is actually serving multiple people. Think of it like your parcel taking the metro. Most of the time the parcel travels with other parcels and makes its way to a hub near you. But when it needs to reach you at your specific household at the quickest rate possible, that requires a delivery being made specifically for you, or at best for you and your closest neighbors. So all of these super quick small scale deliveries make for major scale emissions. The total size of India's e-commerce fleet as per current estimates is approximately 1 million vehicles spread across 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, small commercial vehicles and medium commercial vehicle segments. From a climate perspective, finding solutions for this segment of deliveries could mean a significant improvement to overall emissions in our cities. So what could some of these possible solutions look like? Well, when looking for the simplest step, we should always look at ourselves first. Be conscious consumers. If you don't need your package delivered immediately, consider using a less prompt delivery option. Next, look to club your delivery so you can receive more items in a single shipment. But yes, to create change, everyone must do their part. So while we as consumers do ours, the e-commerce companies are already taking steps to do theirs. They must continue then to decarbonize their mobility operations, because their long-term success depends on thriving and healthy cities. In this hyper-competitive industry, smaller, faster and more frequent deliveries will erode company profits. So while e-commerce companies may opt for it now, these deliveries will not be the norm forever. Transitioning to electric mobility would be great for both the environment and for business. 100% adoption of EVs in e-commerce deliveries by 2030 could prevent 44% of total CO2 emissions caused by equivalent ICE vehicle variants in India, reducing the consumption of fossil fuels by 32 billion litres and preventing approximately 76 million tons of CO2 emissions per year. To support this transition, we need to push for EV charging infrastructure by creating demand through our voices in society and our purchasing power in the larger economy. In a great show of commitment to this cause, Flipkart has already pushed to electrify its fleet in accordance with the Climate Group's EV100 plan, a global initiative bringing together companies committed to switching their owned and contracted fleets to electric vehicles and installing charging infrastructure for employees and customers by 2030. As e-commerce is expected to contribute 3.5% to the country's GDP by 2030, this sector will play a critical role in India's ambition to transition to a more sustainable economy. And with that goal in mind, it's time for e-commerce companies to deliver more than packages and start delivering on promises.